The third instant consisted in selecting and determining the order and arrangement, or the mode of this communication, so as to realize in an adequate manner the most exalted ends. The order, namely that which is proper, should be maintained in regard to the communications of the Godhead and its divine attributes, so that this activity of the Lord may have its proper reasons and objects, and so that it might proceed with the most beautiful and admirable sequence, harmony, and subordination. In this instant was decreed, first of all, that the divine word should assume flesh and should become visible. The perfection and the composition of the most holy humanity of Christ our Lord was decreed and modeled in the divine intelligence. Secondarily, also reformed the ideals of the rest of men in imitation of the first. The divine mind prearranged the harmony and adornment of the human nature, composed of an organic body and a vivifying soul, endowed with faculties to know and enjoy its Creator, to discern between good and evil, and with a free will to love that same Lord. This hypostatic union of the second person of the most holy Trinity I understood necessarily to have been the first incentive and object on account of which, before all others, the divine intelligence and will issued ad extra, and the reasons are most exalted so that I cannot explain. One of these reasons is that God, having in himself known and loved himself, should, according to right order, know and love that which approaches most intimately to his divinity, as is the case in the hypostatic union. Another reason is that the divinity, having communicated itself ad intra, should also communicate itself ad extra, for thus the divine will and intention would begin to execute its works with the highest end in view, and his attributes would be communicated in the most beautiful order. The fire of the divinity expended itself in its fullest measure on that which was most immediately connected with it, namely the hypostatically united humanity, and his divinity communicated itself in the highest and most excellent degree to him who was to be closest to God in divine knowledge and love, and share the works and the glory of the deity. For God, speaking according to our lowly comprehension, could not endanger the attainment of this end, since he alone could be an object proportionate and worthy of so wonderful an operation. It was also befitting and, as it were, necessary that if God should create many creatures, he should create them in such harmony and subordination as would be the most admirable and glorious within the reach of possibility. In conformity with this, therefore, they must be subordinate to a supreme chief, who should be as far as possible united immediately with God, so that through him they may have communication and connection with his divinity. For these and for other reasons, which I cannot explain, the dignity of the works of God could be provided for only by the incarnation of the Word. Through him creation should possess the most beautiful order, which without him was impossible. The fourth instant was to determine the gifts and graces which were to be conferred upon the humanity of Christ our Lord in union with the divinity. Here the Most High opened the liberal hands of his omnipotence and his other attributes, in order to enrich the most sacred humanity and the soul of Christ with the highest possible plenitude of his gifts and graces. Then was fulfilled what afterward David said, "The stream of the river maketh the city of God joyful." When the stream of his gifts flowed toward the humanity of the Word, communicating to it all the infused science, the grace and goodness of which his blessed soul was capable, and which fitted that being which was to be God and true man, and at the same time the head of all creatures capable of grace and glory, in order that from this impetuous stream they might partake in the manner in which it afterwards really happened. To this instant also, and, as it were, in natural sequence, pertain the decree and predestination of the Mother of the Divine Word incarnate, For here I understand was ordained that pure creature before aught else whatever. Thus, before all other creatures was she conceived in the divine mind, in such manner and such state as befitted and became the dignity, excellence, and gifts of the humanity of her most holy Son. To her flowed over at once and immediately the river of the divinity and its attributes with all its impetuosity, in as far as a mere creature is capable, and as is due to the dignity of the Mother of God.